Go Chargers, go.
Welcome to the Reed Report. Appreciate you guys taking this time to hear me out here on some breaking news on the Reed Report. We got Jim Harbaugh accepts the head coaching job with the Los Angeles Chargers. That's right, Jim Harbaugh, after 10 years, will be returning to the NFL this upcoming 2024 season. Of course, we know Jim Harbaugh spent the last 9 years in Michigan, where he finally broke through, of course, a few weeks ago and won the national championship for the Wolverines. And now he is back. He's coming back to settle some unfinished business. We know that before then, he was the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, took that job in 2011, took the Niners to the NFC Championship, 3 NFC Championships, and a Super Bowl. NFC Championship, lost to the Giants in 2011, made it to the Super Bowl, lost to his big brother John Harbaugh, and lost to the Seahawks in the NFC Championship in 2013, and then 2014 was his final year. They went 8-8, didn't make the playoffs, and he headed to Michigan after that, where he helped turn that program around. I mean, which is what he's done pretty much everywhere he's been. He had to get over some hurdles, of course, at Michigan. I'm not going to talk about the allegations and all that stuff because that stuff is senseless to me, all of those things. But he had to get over the hurdles of beating first Michigan State. It wasn't a huge hurdle. He got over that, but then Ohio State was just a thorn, and he finally got over that. And this year he won the national championship by beating, it's so bad, I forgot who they beat. They beat Washington. They beat Washington in the national championship game. I can't believe for a split second I forgot the team that they played. But yeah, the news just broke. I'm going to read the article on ESPN from Chris Grimm of ESPN. It says, Jim Harbaugh is leaving the national champion, the Michigan Wolverines, to accept the head coaching job with the NFL's Los Angeles Chargers, sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter on Wednesday. Harbaugh was considered among the Chargers' most desirable candidates in this coaching cycle because of his success at every level. Since his head coaching career began in 2006 at the University of San Diego, Harbaugh had success at stops at Stanford, Michigan, and in the NFL with the San Francisco 49ers. There's also Harbaugh's Chargers connection. He played quarterback for the team for 2 seasons, 1999 and 2000. Now, I originally was rooting for Bill Belichick myself, and we'll get into some more of this article. I was rooting for Bill Belichick to get this job, but I was also rooting for Harbaugh to get it as well. Because when you just look at the poor job I think Don Staley did with this teams in the 3 years he was there, he should have been fired after that wild card playoff loss to the Jaguars last season when they blew that big lead. He should have been fired after that. But they brought him back and fired him with a couple weeks left in the season after they lost to the Raiders 63-21 or something like that on Thursday Night Football. He was fired after that, but he should not have came back for the 2023 campaign. But I thought it was going to be Bill Belichick. That's the guy I was rooting for the most. But then when I saw that Harbaugh was open to coming back to the NFL, I was like, okay, here, Bill Belichick, because I just look at this Chargers job and it is a really attractive job. They have all the tools necessary to compete for a championship. No reason. I know Herbert got injured, but even before Herbert's injury this year, they were falling off. At first they were just mediocre, alternate wins and losses, and then they just started to fall off where you just knew this team is no threat to the big boys of the AFC. No threat to the Ravens, no threat to the Bills, no threat to the Bengals. We know they got their quarterback got injured as well. No threat to the Chiefs, team in their division. You just saw it. You're like, all right, they're not a threat, but they have the pieces to be a threat, and they just need the right guy calling the shots. And I feel they have the right guy now in Jim Harbaugh. We saw what Jim Harbaugh did for Alex Smith, who I just, at first it was just, I was questioning, like, why do the 49ers still have this dude on their roster? But then they got the right guy in there. And then he eventually moved on to Kaepernick. And it took off from there. Now, I know he didn't win, but he was still successful in what he was able to do for the 49ers. What's my guy named? Mike Singletary laid the foundation, and Jim Harbaugh, he took the ball and he ran with it. They didn't win the Super Bowl, but they were successful, and he proved that he proved himself with that three-year run. Well, 4 years with the team, but 3 straight years in the NFC Championship game and a Super Bowl in between. More on this article. It says, as a collegiate coach, Harbaugh has a 144-42 record, winning 3 Big Ten championships and Michigan's first national title since 1997. Harbaugh also spent 4 seasons as the 49ers coach, where he was named the NFL Coach of the Year in his first season. Harbaugh led the 49ers to Super Bowl 47, where they lost to the Baltimore Ravens, who were coached by his brother John. Well, we just talked about that. Harbaugh left the 49ers after 2014 with a 44-19-1 regular season record. The Chargers are scheduled to play the Ravens next season at SoFi Stadium, which now officially will be a matchup between John and Jim Harbaugh. I may have to go to that game because how bad the Panthers are. I'm not, I'm not saying that I'm going to be a Chargers fan, but I think they're going to be the team that I support next season and root for. Like, I got the Ravens this year. I hope the Ravens can win it all this year. But I was going to go root for the Chargers and support them had Bill Belichick gotten the job. And Harbaugh's another guy I like, so I'm going to root for the Chargers next season. Just letting you know, I don't know if I'm going to pick them to win the Super Bowl or anything like that. I will just have to wait until this season is over and the draft and free agency and everything play out, and I'll give an honest, objective opinion on how I think the 2024 season will unfold. It says, when Harbaugh took over the 49ers, he was rebuilding a team which had tumbled from the NFL's elite and missed the playoffs 8 straight seasons. That's right, before Harbaugh came, the last time the Niners made the playoffs was 2002, before he took the job and took them to the NFC Championship game. He will have a similar challenge with the Chargers, who finished 5-12 last season and have 3 playoff wins since 2008. Geez, another task for Harbaugh will be deciding the construction of Chargers roster next season, as this team is projected to be $27.5 million over the league salary cap, according to ESPN's roster management system. Harbaugh and the Chargers have been linked since the offseason began. Still, one of the potential challenges for the Harbaugh Chargers reunion was if owner Dean Sparanos was willing to pay Harbaugh a competitive salary, one that will lure him away from Michigan and other NFL teams. I wonder what that salary is. I'm not sure if the article mentions that, but Harbaugh is definitely worth the money. He's definitely worth it. So whatever he's asking for, pay that man. I'm sure he used Michigan to leverage, his negotiations with the Los Angeles Chargers, because there were reports, I believe, that came out. It was saying that he has no interest in leaving Michigan, which was just a negotiation tactic. Like, hey, I'm good where I'm at. I just won a national championship. They're willing to give me anything I want here. So it was a great negotiation tool to use, in my opinion. While the Chargers have signed players to record-breaking contracts, the organization has developed a reputation for not paying coaches. The Sparanos have denied that claim, with team president John Sparanos telling reporters in December that he didn't know where narratives came from. That was a quote, narratives came from, unquote, and that the team has never had limitations with spending. The Chargers fired coach Brandon Staley. What did I call him? Did I call him Brandon Staley earlier? Did I say Don Staley or something? Because I don't recall saying Brandon now. His name is Brandon Staley. My apologies. And general manager Tom Telesco on December 15th, following a 63-21 loss to the Las Vegas Raiders. What year am I in? Geez. Las Vegas Raiders back in week 15. Again, that man should have been gone after that Jaguar playoff loss. Finishing up the article, it says the Chargers held an extensive search after firing Staley, interviewing a league-high 15 candidates. I wonder how many of those were serious contenders to get the job. They began internally with interim head coach Giff Smith and offensive coordinator Kellen Moore before interviewing former Bills defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier. They filled their black quota there. 49ers defensive coordinator Steve Wilks filled another black quota. Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan, who took the Tennessee Titans head coaching job. He has that job now. Raiders DC Patrick Graham. Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan, former Titans. Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan, former Titans coach Mike Vrabel. They said Callahan twice in this article. This is article typo, not me. Former Titans head coach Mike Vrabel, former Stanford coach David Shaw, Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. Lions, they're just raving off the people that they've interviewed. I don't need to read all that. Staley finished his 48 game Charger tenure with a 500 record with one playoff appearance that ended in a historic loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you just left scratching your head saying, why did you fire, what's the brother's name? Who was the Chargers head coach? It's like, why did you fire Anthony Lynn? Why did you fire Anthony Lynn again when you know what I'm saying? At the end of all this with Brandon Staley. But anyway, Harbaugh got the job. I'm excited about that. He does play his big brother. And before we get out of here, let's just see all the Chargers opponents for 2024. Let's look at their opponents for 2024. See who they play. The schedule's not set yet, but the opponents are already out. Of course, they play the Kansas City Chiefs twice. They play the Las Vegas Raiders twice and the Denver Broncos twice. Those are teams in their opponent in their division, and we know they play the Ravens because we just talked about that. But their other opponents, they have their home opponents. They have the Baltimore Ravens. They play the AFC North. So they have the Baltimore Ravens at home, the Cincinnati Bengals at home, and SoFi. Other home opponents, they have the Tennessee Titans, New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. On the road, they play the Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers, New England Patriots, Atlanta Falcons, my Carolina Panthers. Another 63-point Charger. This time the Chargers going to be putting up the 63 points against the Panthers. I take that back because our defense is not that bad. You know what I'm saying? We won 2 games this year, but we still ranked number 4 in total and overall defense. So I take that back. They ain't putting up no 63 points on the Panthers. And they play the Arizona Cardinals. So those are the Chargers' opponents for next year. And the schedule, of course, I believe come out in how does it work again? April or something like that. April. But then people get the schedule, which games they want to go to. So again, I might want to go to that Ravens Chargers game. I've never been to SoFi, so I would definitely be looking into that. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to hear me out. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about Harbaugh being the Chargers coach. Is this the coach that's going to get the Chargers finally over that hump to make them serious contenders with all that talent they got? Let me know. We'll talk soon. Peace.
And now go Chargers, go.